Hello, and welcome to SpeakPodcasts. We are here again, and this is going to be episode 23. We have Luca in the building.
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? I missed you guys, man. Missed the show, missed venting about the silly things that happen in my life on a day-to-day basis, because it happens on a legit day-to-day basis. I don't understand why people keep bothering me with stuff, How are you today, Blue?
Every day. I'm a little tired. I've been staying up late with the stream. It's not exactly a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing, but it's not a good thing. I love it because we have fun, but my sleep schedule gets eviscerated on the weekends. It's kind of bad. But I went to bed
at 7 o'clock.
Oh.
7 a.m.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say I went to sleep earlier because I was like, okay, the show, I have to be, because on Friday I went to sleep at 5 a.m. But this morning, see, that's a little confusing. I went to sleep at 3:30, 4-ish. So it was a little bit earlier. I meant to sleep earlier than that, but then I, laid down and couldn't fall asleep. I've been having trouble falling asleep lately. It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, anyway. Yeah, why did you go to sleep so late?
Oh man, I don't know, man. Shit's looking spooky. I just keep staying up. I was talking to some friends and stuff, so I just need to. I love sleeping. I love sleeping so much. I need to just start sleeping.
What time did you wake up?
10.
Oh no. You might need to take a nap after this.
I know. I definitely need to take a nap. I'm starting to feel it. It's starting to hit me, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do this, man. I don't know I can do this, but I can do it because the show's important, so I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
but I'm really tired right now.
Yeah, same. We're gonna have to nap after this, guys. But at least we are here. We're here for you guys, and we are excited to get the show started. It's been a little while, so let's get started with our first segment, which is the questions. For during question time, it's always good because we get to learn a little bit more about each other, and you guys get to learn a little bit more about us. But hopefully we don't get into it. And the question time is supposed to be fun, but sometimes it turns into a thing.
Wait, what?
Sometimes sometimes it just becomes a discussion more than it was supposed to be, because the questions are so good and they get you thinking. But our first question, I think it's pretty easy. The first question is, are you an introvert or an extrovert?
Okay, so I know this is hard to believe, right? Given my outgoing personality, but I'm an introvert. I had to practice how to act around people. Mostly just because of my last position. I was a telecom operator and a receptionist, and you gotta talk to people face to face. You gotta talk to people on the phone. I used to have really bad social anxiety when it came to that stuff. I couldn't talk on the phone at all. It was bad. It was really bad. But I just I kept panicking and stressing out until I finally reached a point where I was dead inside, so I could do it. So it all worked out there. But at the end of the day, I'm still an introvert, and I'm just good at acting like an extrovert.
I see. I'm an extrovert. I just is there a difference between your online personality and your offline personality? I feel like people act way differently online. And
yeah, absolutely.
The way you behave online, does it actually define who you are? You know what I mean? Because if you can be an extrovert online and totally be an introvert in person. And does that define who you are? The person that you are out in the real life, I guess? Makes more, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, to me, I think this whole online thing, I think a lot of it's fun. It's like kind of like a game, because a lot of it's just like the stuff that we see on a daily basis on Twitter. It's so silly, right? It's so outlandish. It's so ridiculous that it can't be real. Like I can't even take it seriously because of it's just so ridiculous. So I treat this like a fun little hobby, like entertainment. You know, I have a lot of fun messing with people, and people have fun messing with me as well. But my true self isn't someone that I portray on the internet, because who cares what a bunch of strangers think of you? And everyone's gonna come up with their own ideas of who you are anyway. Like I always get called so many different names, and since I have a gender neutral username and icon, people always call me a guy, so that's one thing, and I just roll with it. I'm like, yeah, sure, yeah, that's what I am, a fanboy.
Yeah, I don't bother explaining anymore. I feel like people jump to conclusions way too quickly, and I feel like online people are hiding behind, you know, a username, like a fake picture. It's not real, and most of the people that mess with us, or just most of the people online in general, just wouldn't be the same in person. And I try to remember that when I read something that seems to be a bit like, that's why I don't bother arguing, you know, with people. I just troll them. I just put stupid pictures and just be like, really?
Oh, and the gifts, the gift wars.
The gifts, yes. I am gift queen. People just stop after they see the silly gifts that I send. And I'm like, oh, okay. They were like, oh yeah,
just crazy.
I had one person that was like, after that gift, I can't even argue with you anymore. I was like, that's cool. But people are, people are strange online. So what strange experiences have you had with animals? When I first put this question, when I first wrote this question, I was like, oh, it makes sense. But now that I read it out loud, and I read it out loud, like when I put it here for this show, I was like, this could be taken a little differently. So
listen, miss, I'm not sure what you're referring to.
By strange experiences, I just mean if anything silly or weird has happened. Yeah, I don't know how to explain this question without being...
goodness.
Anyway,
well, you can think about that one time you were trying to defy that cat who wouldn't let you in the house or something.
Oh, the cat next door. Right? Oh my God, the cat next door is like such an asshole. Let me just tell you. I mean, I think I just have bad experiences with cats in general, because the one that I was thinking of when I wrote this is that there was a cat in a bodega. Bodega is basically like a corner store over here. And like I was just minding my own business, just looking for something, a little snack, you know, and this was a while ago, so maybe it would have been different now. But I was just looking for a little snack to eat, something simple, easy. And for some reason, the cat felt like it was in the middle of the aisle laying on some boxes. It felt the need to swipe me, like on my jeans, and just like try and scratch my leg. And I'm just like, are you serious, cat? I'm minding my own business. You're sleeping. Like, what the hell is happening right now? I just want a freaking snack, and you're going to try and scratch me, cat? Really, cat? And the cat's just like looking at me and then like hisses. And I'm just like, you fucking bitch. And I think ever since then, I just can't with cats. Like, I'm sorry. They're cute to look at in GIFs. They're like funny when they have like videos, because they're assholes sometimes, and they don't care. They let it be known. But like, Don't just get your cat away from me, please. I don't understand what's going on here. They don't like me. What's your funny experience or strange or?
I'm trying to think. Well, it's not really a strange or funny experience. More like I don't have a lot of interaction with animals. But my friend's cat, like I've known this bitch for fucking like 6 or 7 years, right? This fucking cat. She still dodges me when I come over to his house. She like ducks. I'm like, hey, Bonnie, and she's out the room already. I'm like, I don't even finish saying Bonnie, and she's gone. I'm like, bro, really? Like, she just doesn't like me.
That's so
or she's scared of
rude.
me or something. Like, she's just always hiding from me. And there's been a couple of times I'm like, hey bro, you still have a cat? He's like, yeah, she's hiding. I'm like, bruh.
Damn, is that bad that you don't see her at all? Jeez.
Yeah, I never see her, so I don't know, man. Shit's looking spooky.
That's kind of weird, huh? I wonder what it is about us that the cats are just like, nah. One is aggressive towards me, and the other one is just avoiding you at all costs.
I mean, I don't know.
Sounds familiar.
I love cats, so You know, I don't know, man. Shit's looking
I mean, I
spooky.
don't hate cats. I just feel like, what the fuck, cat? Like, let me live my life. Like, let me go up my steps, please. Like, why are you guarding the door? Like, some kind of like, what is going on here? I don't understand. And then the lady next door, she'll go to the hallway, and I wouldn't be surprised if she's listening right now, but she'll go to the hallway, she'll sit on the steps, and the steps are right in front of my door, and she'll be like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. Do you know that? Oh my God, you're my little baby. Yes, you are. You're my little baby. And I'm like, shut the fuck.
That's me when I have a cat.
Oh, what the hell, lady? Like, this is not a baby. This is a fucking animal. Like, no wonder your cat is so grumpy.
Cats are babies.
Listen, no wonder this cat is like, fuck you guys. Fuck humans. Because this lady grabs onto the cat and just like, leave the cat alone. Jesus Christ.
Listen, what if the cat likes it, you know?
The cat doesn't like it because the cat is looking at her like, bitch, if you don't let me go. Yeah, so that's a thing. Next question is, would you categorize yourself as a nosy person? Okay, so
absolutely.
Okay, so I was talking to my stream yesterday, and we were talking about how, first of all, I don't know why, but our neighbors decided to have some kind of like party next door. I don't know if it was because they had like the game going on. I don't know. And they were making weird noises, and people were like, it sounds like they're having sex. And I was like, wait, what? I don't no, guys, what? Because they were making noises, but it wasn't noises of pleasure. It was like weird, like grunting noises. And then they were like, yo, 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 yo. And I'm like, who?
Oh, they're probably having a ritual or something.
And people were like, well, you don't know. They could probably be into something weird. And I was like, listen, look, when I was walking upstairs the other day, someone was actually having sex. And yeah, it was on the 3rd floor and I'm on the 5th floor. So I was like walking up, and all of a sudden you just hear like super loud screaming, and the guy is like screaming. And I'm just like, wow, this is getting hardcore right here. Like, what is okay? And I just like kept walking, and I was like, if I were one of those people to just stand in front of the door and just like listen, that'll be weird, right? Like that's what a nosy person would do, huh?
Well, I think that's an extreme instance.
What makes you say that you're nosy?
Oh, I just, I love being in people's
drama.
Yeah, but the thing of it is that people tell me stuff. I don't, occasionally I'll be like, oh, what's going on? Like with my little evil grin going on. I'm like a praying mantis, just rubbing my little hands together, like, yeah, what's going on. But usually people tell me stuff, so I'm like, yeah, oh, and then I have to act like I don't know what they're talking about because I hear so many things from multiple sources. So I'm like, oh, yeah, and I act like I don't know anything. But I'm definitely involved in other people's drama. I love it. I'm like, what's going on here? I'm over here with like the little spy glasses, just like searching it out.
Okay, that's weird.
What's up?
Like your spy glasses, really?
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't ask, does that mean you're nosy, right? Because people just tell you on their own. I don't know if it's, well, I guess it makes you nosy if you're just like, oh yeah, tell me more.
I'm like, oh, that's so interesting. Well, I've been called a gossip whore and like all that fun stuff, right? And I'm like, absolutely. Like, I just like that stuff as long as it's nothing too, like, I don't cross any lines when it comes to that stuff. But I definitely like hearing things. I definitely like seeing drama. So
speaking of drama, so.
What's up?
Speaking of cats in the chat, and if you're not here,
that was gonna be my fuck that shit. So.
Okay, well, if you're not here live in chat, you definitely should come through. We get into many different conversations while we're talking about other things in the show. We talk about different things in the chat. It's kind of, multitasking. We're kind of professional at it, but Cool. So we'll talk about it later. Okay. We are going to move on.
I think we should do a trigger warning for that, too.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We're going to move on to our next topic, which is topic number 1, which is a little lighter than but it might get a little serious. Who knows? Topic number 1 today is taking responsibility. And by that, we just mean how people should learn to take responsibility when they're wrong instead of drawing things out. What I was interested in this, because Luca really wanted to talk about this, is like some examples of what you mean by that. I guess, would be if we're having an argument and the person knows that they're wrong and they don't say that they're wrong, and I'm kind of guilty of doing that sometimes. So I'm just gonna put that out there. Do it. I've gotten better with it, because before I would kind of just, first of all, I wouldn't even talk about it. I would just be like, you're a dumbass, and just leave.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I was just like total denial. And then I still have issues with taking responsibility, but I've been able to do it more so lately. But what about you? What triggered this question?
Well, I mean, this is, okay, so we have like a document, guys, and we have like a bunch of ideas swirling in there, and this is something that I suggested months ago. I don't remember. But it's like...
But you're still dealing with things like this, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like
especially on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, especially on Twitter. People are so prideful when it comes to these things. Something I learned from my mom when I was younger, right? My mom taught me that if you just tell the truth and you admit when you mess up, you get in less trouble and things work out better. And people also have more respect for you if you are just honest about these things. And it's like, they can't hold it against you. They don't look at you like sideways and stuff. Because there's so many people who just, even though they are 100% absolutely just wrong, you know, they just refuse to take responsibility for their actions. And I'm just like, well, like, it's just... It's just odd, you know, because most of the time, like, I got into this argument with this one guy, right? Because I was telling my followers, I was like, hey, block this dude over here, right? I told my followers to block some Xbox loser who was like sending me like nasty messages about, he was talking about how I was like into like that weirdo anime kitty porn or whatever. He called me like a pony, like, you know, that's and I'm using quotation marks, derogatory word for like the PlayStation fans or whatever. All because I said, because he was like, oh, Xbox is gonna do a comeback, and like all that shit, right? And I was like, actually, PlayStation won this generation, man. It's over. Like, you know, it's not a big deal, but... And then he just didn't take kindly to that, and he started calling me a bunch of names and all that shit, right? And so, since he was on that weirdo shit, I told my followers to block him, and then this dude's friend came at me. And mind you, me and this guy are like, we were mutuals. I unfollowed him after this, but he was like, well, don't you think it's messed up that you're asking your followers to block someone, like a fellow Xbox fan and all that shit, right? And I took what he said, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't be having my followers do this, but they're still going to do it. And then maybe they won't do it. Like, I can't force people to do anything. I can make a suggestion. I can be like, hey, I think you guys should block this guy. But not everyone's going to, like, take my suggestion. Most people are going to see my post, shrug, and then just keep it moving. Because at the end of the day, you cannot force people to do anything they don't want to do, no matter how much they say, oh, you coerce them and all that shit, right? So me and him got into a little tiff about that. And then I was just kind of like, well, I was like, do you know what he said to me? He's like, well, yeah, I knew what he said to you, but I just don't think you should be telling people to block him. And I'm like, listen, if you knew what he was saying to me and all the messed up things he was saying to me, and you know who I am and like in the community, why didn't you just tell him to chill? And then he just never replied to me. And I was like, all right, dude, just tell your friends to like not come at me over dumb shit. And he was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. And I was like, okay. And I unfollowed him. I was like, well, don't at me with dumb shit then. So... You know, like a situation like that, there's been a couple of occasions where I feel like I've gone too far with like I normally just, you know, I don't want to attack unless provoke, but there's been a couple of situations where I've just been like unnecessarily a bitch, and I'm like, oh, and I've apologized and be like, yeah, I think I've gone too far with this. And it's, like I said, it's something I learned from childhood. It's easier to just take responsibility and admit when you're wrong and all that stuff, because honestly, like, people respect that more. They don't respect people who lie and dodge and try to act like everything's perfect and they can do no wrong. You know, I actually learned something really, like, I heard something interesting like a few weeks ago where this guy was talking to me, and he was like saying how he doesn't have any friends, or his friends on Xbox just leave him or whatever because he's not good at a game or whatever, right? And I'm like, and then his friend or his old friend, they responded and they were like, there are 3 sides to a story. Your side, my side, and the truth. Please stop telling lies. And I was like, oh, that's actually like a really interesting philosophy, you know? So I was like, oh, okay. So I've been taking that and running with it for a while.
I see. Well, if there's 3 sides and the person's telling their side, how does the other person know if it's the truth or not, if it's their side?
Exactly, right? Because it's like, I think everyone has their own... And Simon, shut up. I think everyone has their own little interpretations of how, like, things go, right? Because, like, say you could get into a heated argument with someone, right? And you could feel like, hey, this person completely did me wrong. But you're not seeing things from their point of view, from their perspective. Maybe they feel like you did something to them. So it's just kind of skewed. And then the actual truth of the situation is just buried in there. Because a lot of the times people don't want to acknowledge the things they've done, like, that are messed up. So while some of the things that someone could be saying is truthful, and the other things the other person is saying is truthful, there's like one complete truth that you never actually get to because you both are seeing things from different perspectives.
I think that's why it's important to remember that even if you disagree on something, it's good to hear them out because you could most likely find that middle ground. And I think that people forget that. Like, they just want so badly to be right and they so badly want to make their point that they forget to listen to the other person. And it's frustrating, especially when you have to have a conversation with someone like that, because if you aren't being listened to, you're not going to listen to the other person. And that's you guys class heads. And I don't know. I feel like a lot of these things is just you have to be a little bit mature when you are having a disagreement. You know, you can't just cover your ears like a child and just be like la 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 la. You know, that doesn't work, especially on social media where text can be taken for, you know, so differently. Everyone can interpret what you're saying so differently based off of the same words. It's interesting because tone matters. You know, when you have a conversation over voice, it's different because of the tone. You can read into something even if the person didn't mean it a particular way, but you're reading into it because of your experience. And I think that's why, I mean, that's one of the reasons why this show exists, right? Because we want to hear from other people and we want to express our side of this, our stories. And honestly, I feel like when you listen and you try to understand, like try a little bit, then you can have way better conversations, you know? I don't know. I think that taking responsibility is definitely a mature thing. And I think that there are not a lot of mature people out here. Let's be real. It's crazy. Like, I personally don't. I think if you realize, like, to your situation that these things don't really matter that much, you know? So, like, is there really a point to arguing this hard over something and getting this disrespectful? Because that's another thing, too. A lot of people are really disrespectful when it comes to these arguments on Twitter. They're real quick to curse you out. They're real quick to try to, like, you know, insult you,
instigate.
And it's so stupid because most of the time, like, it means nothing. Like, these little, like, jabs that you're taking, it's kind of, it doesn't, you just make yourself look dumb, to be honest.
Exactly. And I think that also ties into me saying I can't take this stuff seriously. It's like a game to me, because I think other people feel the same way too, because the way people talk to each other, like, on the internet is really ugly. It's really disgusting. There's a lot of just terrible, terrible things that are said. And I think people are just seeing icons and usernames and not acknowledging the fact that these are real people behind this keyboard. You know, it's like there's a disconnect. That's why, like, I've heard, like, people, you know, who go to E3 and they're blocked, like, they have each other blocked or whatever on Twitter. They meet each other in real life and it's just kind of like, oh, okay.
Exactly.
Like, that happened with
I tweeted about this the other day, where I said that these console wars are just getting so frustrating and, like, exhausting. And there's this perfect gift. Oh my God. This perfect GIF where there are 2 dogs on leashes, right? And they're barking at each other. And then all of a sudden the leashes break, both of them at the same time. And then they look at each other and then they just walk away. And it's like,
oh yeah, I saw
you
that.
guys, come on. Like, you all know that y'all not gonna, you know, like, can you imagine? Oh, 2 people murder each other because they were fighting over consoles like in the news. Like, you really going out like that though? Because that's a little silly. Personally, like, that's why I don't bother on Twitter, because if I'm not gonna argue with you in real life about it, I'm not gonna argue on Twitter about it. That's it. It's like, it's not happening. I have to be a little bit more passionate to even have a discussion about it. And like, just DM me. Like, my DMs are open. Like, y'all don't have to try and like embarrass me or try and start some shit over, some bullshit, and then like also make it public, or like quoting people and try that shit is so stupid. You're like quoting people and just taking shots at them with what you write, but then like people only see the quotes and not the responses below, and I'm just like, what's happening here? Like, come on, like let's be a little bit more adult. I have seen that some people are like, yeah, I've been a little bit, going a little crazy here and just trying to, give some entertainment to folks, or they'll say like, this is all just entertainment, this is not like real. Like, they'll come out and just say it like, hey guys, just so you know, which I think is pretty responsible and pretty mature to come out outright and just be like, yo, this is all for, show. It's not that serious. But I think people forget really quickly. And a lot of times I'm arguing with someone just like jokingly, and people would be like, oh, are you guys fighting? Oh, damn. Or they'll instigate and they'll just be like, yo, she took shots, or blah, 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 things like that. And then it becomes more than it was, Then it's like, That's why when that happens, I shut it down real quick. I don't bother. I don't keep going, because I don't want it to turn into something more. And when people instigate, that's exactly what happens. So I try to just be responsible and just shut it down and not bother saying anything else, because I'm not here to embarrass somebody, like, unless they deserve it. And
I stay destroying people.
Let's be real. Some people deserve it though.
Yeah.
Some people deserve that shit.
Like, a lot of the times if I'm having a conversation with someone on Twitter and it's just me and them, and someone tries jumping in, I'm like, you stay out of this. And then, if they don't, I just block them because I'm petty. So
I've blocked people.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like people, I mean, if you are there for stupid ass shit, then I don't need you to be there, But that's just me. Anyway, the lesson here, everyone, is that it's important to take responsibility when you're wrong, and to try and listen to see if you're wrong. Because if you just keep walking with your head down, you're not going to be able to see what's going on, right? So, like, don't be like that in a conversation. Simple.
It's especially important to be like that when it comes to friendships, like, if you want things to work out, you got to talk to each other, and you got to try and listen and understand each other. And I know like that's hard for some people, but I don't know. Like, I don't have that many friends with I do have a lot of friends. I don't have that many issues with my friends. So, but when I do have it, it's like my one friend, for some odd reason, thought I was like dodging her and trying to ditch her and hang out with my other friend without her. And I was like, I would never do that, Like, shit's weird. Like, I don't understand. I don't know. I guess it's insecurity, right? Like, why someone would think that I would do that to them, because I've never done anything like that before. I've always been really good to them. So I don't know why she would think that. So
maybe, I don't know, maybe she feels like it's not the same, or maybe she feels like it's different, or maybe you haven't, like, I don't know. Maybe it could be a lot of things. I've gotten people that tell me that they're like, oh, I miss you. You don't reach out to me. And I'm like, well, I thought that you didn't want to be friends anymore, or something like that. So yeah, it's always like sometimes miscommunication. That happens a lot.
Yeah, miscommunication is the worst. Like, it's something I really strive for when it comes to my romantic relationships. Like, I need communication, I need honesty, and I need trust, And I think that's hard for people sometimes. I don't know.
I guess. I mean, it's important to communicate, but at the same time, it could be exhausting if you feel like you're constantly explaining your point of view,
Yeah.
But sometimes it takes that work to keep it going, just like a relationship. Gotta work, guys. You gotta work. All right, let's move on to our next segment. This is Girl, Let Me Tell You. And we do have some interesting stories for you today. Do you want to go first?
Oh yeah, I actually have a nice girl, let me tell you. But not necessarily nice, but I know most of the time, like, our girl, let me tell you, are I'm getting a cough drop, my throat hurts, are silly and
like,
or just yeah, or like,
sound like you were going for chips,
or people are like we're complaining about people. But yesterday I was at the laundromat, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
laundromat. Was it the same laundromat where they sell your clothes?
Yeah.
Oh God.
I watch my clothes now. Nice.
Okay.
But there's this lady like across from me folding her clothes, and she had a lot of clothes, but I was like, okay, whatever, right? And she was like, she's just there doing her thing, and then the laundromat attendant, he came out, and she was like, oh, hi, and she saw him, she gave him a hug, they were talking, and then he pulled out like this bag full of like detergent and all the other stuff you need for washing clothes, and she started crying.
Oh my
and I was
God.
like, huh, okay. So I was just like, just watching some stuff on my show, and then she was crying as she was folding her clothes, and she started talking to me. I was like, oh, okay, what's up? And then she was saying that, like, she's homeless, and that last month she left that stuff he brought up. Like, she left it at the laundromat on accident, and she was scared that it was, like, lost forever, and that she was telling me that she had to, like, scrounge up enough money to just get enough so she could do her clothes and all that stuff. And then she said that, she's like, I'm not used to people being kind to me. I've been stolen from so many times, like, this is just overwhelming. And I'm like, no, it's okay to be affected by this stuff. Acts of kindness are rare. And I was just talking to her, and she was like, I was just trying to not be a complete asshole, because there are people who would be like that, right? But of course, I was just talking to her about it, and it made me sad. I mean, it made me happy knowing that he would do that for her. She, like, I mean, it's just, I don't know. Like, that's rough. I mean,
that was good on him for bringing it. It's so true. Like, people are assholes lately, and when someone does something nice, that people are assholes when someone does something nice, and it actually touches you, and you're just like, wow.
Exactly.
Like, that's fucked up, if you think about it, because we should all be doing nice things every day, just, I don't know. I feel bad for that woman, though. Like, we are all just literally, I mean, not all of us, but a lot of us, you don't realize it, but a lot of us are one paycheck away from being homeless.
Exactly. I mean, you never know. Like, I'm like self-aware enough to say, hey, you know what? I've had a pretty good life in terms of like where I am, like my social standing in my family. Like, I may not have a lot of money, but my mom and my grandparents are set, you know what I mean? So I don't have to worry about that. And like, overall, everything I have in my life, everything I wanted when I was younger, for the most part, I was able to get. Like, I didn't have to choose between eating or something else. And it just, I don't know, man. I don't know how they do it. Especially since it's so cold in Chicago in the winters. Yeah. It's just,
for sure,
I don't know. It just affected me. And, she was like, thank you for listening. And I'm like, yeah, man, no, it's all good. Like, you don't even have to thank me for that.
Yeah, I think that I've definitely, I'm very grateful that I've never been homeless before, but I've definitely been like in situations where we have like no food, where we've had to, borrow from neighbors, like, food, and like try to go to my grandmother's to try and get like stuff to eat and things like that. And my mom was a little bit like proud. Well, I guess proud would be the word, but she was holding it down. She had 3 of us, me and my sisters and I, and she was working full time and, making ends meet and things like that. And I mean, look, we've had to do like times where it was just like rice and I don't know if you guys, it's salchicha, but it's sausage, basically Vienna sausages mixed in together at times like that, or like white rice with an egg, like super basic meals because we didn't have any money and things like that. I did not get everything I wanted when I was younger, but I was able to learn the value of $1, you know? And now that I'm older, I think that it's affected me where I'm just like, I don't want to spend all my money. I'm kind of like conservative with my money, but at the same time, I'm just like, all right, I need to enjoy the fact that I am working and that I'm able to, you know, provide for myself and just treat myself sometimes. But it's so scary to think about because you can be homeless, you know, and just, it's just so sad. Like it could just go downhill so quickly. That's why when I see homeless people, I try not to judge them. I try not to ignore them completely because in the city it happens a lot. In the city there's like, you walk down the block, you'll see someone who's homeless. Like it's not everywhere. It's everywhere. And there's not enough spaces and shelters, you know? I don't know. I try to help when I can.
You know, people, especially people who are like more privileged, they just, you know, it's so easy for them to dismiss people. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying this from the perspective of someone who used to do that. Like when I was a teenager, I didn't know any better. I would judge these people like, oh, just get a job. Like this is their own fault, all this stuff, right? And I was ignorant and I was young and I didn't actually know what it was like. And it's so easy to judge when you don't have to go through it. And that's so true in so many aspects of life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's really interesting to hear other people's stories. Like I love the chat. I really do because we always like find something to connect over. And you don't realize that people have the same story as you sometimes, you know? But yeah, you guys understand. It's not fun. And it's funny, right? Because when you're younger, you don't really realize. Like you're so oblivious to lots of things. Because when I was younger, I mean, I didn't know that this meal meant, oh yeah, we have no money. Like I was just like, oh, okay, I guess we gotta eat this shit. I was very mean about it. My mom didn't like that. But when I got older, I realized like, damn, yeah, we had to eat that because we were broke. Like what the hell? And I think I have to this like how do you kind of not disgust necessarily, but just sort of I get bad feelings if I feel like I have to eat that again, you know? Like if I know someone who loves arroz con salchicha and I'm just like, nah, bro, I'm not eating that shit. And they're like, but why not? It's so good. And I'm like, nah, I can't. I just don't like it. It brings back bad feelings, you know? It's not that it's a not tasty meal because it tastes good. It's just, I just don't like, I associate it with something else. You know?
Yeah, that happens a lot.
All right, so my girl, let me tell you. Okay. I went karaoke. It's just one of those things where you just kind of have to go, cuz like what? I went karaokeing, I don't know. Recently with some friends and it was fun. We had a great time. It was like it was great. I'm so glad that I definitely decided to go. But somebody decided to sing this Hitler song, right? And
Hitler had a song?
Yo. All right, let me explain. First of all, I'm at the bar and I'm going to get like a soda or water or something, I forget. And someone is talking about, they were singing a song and it was super depressing and sad. And the bartender, who was also controlling the music choices, was just like, wow, why don't you sing a song about Hitler? Why don't you? Like super sarcastic because they were singing about depression and death and just, I don't know, some song. And the guy was like, oh, I could, right? And I'm just like, ew, what the hell? I got my drink and I left. And then all of a sudden, he actually sings a Hitler song. And it turns out we were listening to it. And I'm just like, yo, what is this? And it literally said things like, Hail Hitler, Hitler the greatest, this and that. Like, just crazy shit.
Hey, man, shit's looking spooky at the bar, man.
My girl and I, we were just like, what? And then all of a sudden, we were just like, boo, boo. It was hilarious. We were like, boo, boo. And I think some other people joined us, but if not, we were loud enough that he heard us. So one of his friends or someone that was sitting next to him came over and they were like, hey, I know that you're booing, but like, I just want to explain to you that this is like a spoof song. It's not like a real song. And that it's from a show, a Broadway show that basically makes fun of Hitler, and it's like super sarcastic, and it's making fun of Hitler, making him seem like a dumbass and some shit there. And I'm just like, yeah, but why would he sing it out of context? Does he not get that? And me knowing, because of what the conversation that I heard, that he's only singing it because the lady was like, why don't you do this? Like trying to be a dumbass, a smart ass back and sing an actual Hitler song, that I know that I'm still going to boo this foe. Like, I'm sorry, what? And then the guy leaves and he's like, well, I just want to explain to you, just so you know, you might not know about the Broadway show. And I was like, I don't care about the freaking Broadway show. All right. This guy is singing this out of context and it's stupid. Like, what is he doing? And he's just like, well, I just wanted to explain in case you didn't know. And I was like, it doesn't matter. All right.
Oh.
And then the guy leaves and then I'm just like, boo. We just kept booing him until the song was over. It's just stupid. Like, this is a karaoke bar. What are you doing? Like, what's happening here? Look, you can't, I'm sorry. We were like the Latinas booing and then the white guys singing the song. I'm just like, this is just so bad.
Hey, it's like, there's a lot of
the song itself was not making
just things
fun.
You just don't do, just
it's
like
so stupid.
Like, I've never even heard of whatever, and I keep up for the most part with those shows and stuff, because I like Broadway, but shit's looking kind of spooky.
Yeah, exactly. If you have to explain it, it's probably not a good. It's not funny if you have to explain it, right?
Exactly. It's not funny if you have to explain it.
It just doesn't. It just makes this guy. Oh man, let it be known that the guy avoided us for the rest of the night. Just saying, both of those guys just did not. They didn't even look at us when we went over to the bar.
I'm not racist, but
right? Like, damn. Anyways, that's my girl. Let me tell you. Yo, people are crazy. I'm just. Yes, Red. That's the name of the show. Springtime for Hitler. Yes, that's the name of the show, and it's supposed to be just like a witty, like, make fun of Hitler and things like that, which is all good and fine. Like, I'm not saying that the show is bad. I'm just saying that he probably should not have sang that song out of context when you have Latinas in the freaking room that are not afraid to speak their mind. It's like, nah, it's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not funny. I don't know. But yes, the name of the show was Springtime for Hitler. He came over and he was like, this is the name of the show. It's a real show and blah, 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 and stuff like that. Well,
I'd be like, get away from me right now.
The producers. Okay, cool. Yes. I'm very surprised that you know this. Wow. I'm very impressed. I totally forgot about it. Yeah, it was definitely the Broadway one that they were singing. So the more you know, guys. I can't. I get that it was a spoof, and I get that it exists, and it's cool. I just don't understand why he felt the need to be sarcastic or make the bartender laugh, maybe. I don't know. And actually sing it. Because people who don't know the show wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to our next topic. This is our serious topic of the day, and it is the draw of social media. So, Luca brought this to us because she was very interested in the fact that people felt the need to share every private detail of their life on, social media, which could be Facebook or Twitter or Instagram and all of that. And I'm a little bit interested in what made you think of this, Luca.
All right, well, okay, so a lot of things have been happening the past couple of months. Like, a lot of really messed up things have happened. I'm not going to point out any names or do any of that stuff because I'm not trying to bring any drama to this channel if anyone ever decides to report back. But I have seen people posting extremely personal stuff, and not just stuff about them, but stuff about their families, stuff they shouldn't be sharing with thousands of strangers on the internet. They shouldn't be doing that. And it always baffles me because I feel like there's a line and it shouldn't be crossed. Like, I share stuff about my personal life. I don't go into like crazy detail that much anymore. I used to a lot when I was younger. But like I say, oh, I'm going out with my friends or all this stuff, right? But like people know I have like a public Instagram and I have a private one, and my private one has my friends on it, and I'm not gonna like open that up, and I'm not gonna like add people so they can see who my friends are and what they look like and all that stuff, because it's like I'm not gonna open up Pandora's box, so to speak, and involve them in the craziness that is this, because they did not ask to be involved in this. They don't want anything to do with this. They side-eye me when I bring it up. So
and people will go after your friends.
Exactly. And my friends will be like, what the fuck is this? What is this? And I'm like, just
I dabble.
I mean, they know that I do this stuff. They're always just like, did you get into another argument with someone? And I'm like, well, yeah, I did. But just like, there are just some things that you shouldn't be putting on the internet about your family and about yourself. You shouldn't do that. And like, I also not really got into it, but I was posting because I have certain strong feelings when it comes to things like people who are self-pitying and like try to do the whole woe is me, feel sorry for me, all that shit, right? I hate it. I find it disgusting. Like, I have a visceral reaction to it. I am genuinely disgusted by it because it's like I have like really bad depression, and I have been trying for years to just like to be okay, and not try to drop like people's gazes to me in that respect. I don't want anyone pitying me or feeling bad for me or trying to tell me what I do and do not need based on my illness. You know what I mean? And when I see people who just refuse to help themselves, it bothers me a lot, because it's like I've gone through so much, and I'm still not okay. But it's like I'm not going to just feel bad for myself and just sit around pitying myself. And I just feel like, I don't know, because I posted about it. I was talking about how disgusted I am by people. I was like, if you don't have any friends, if you don't have any friends, right, just no friends at all, with how many people you've interacted with over the years, that's a you problem. There's one common denominator there, and that's you. You're either pushing people away, you're not keeping in contact, you're not trying to be friends with people. It's you doing something. And I can say that because for a very long time, I didn't have any friends. Like, I wouldn't go out with anyone. I would just stick to myself. And I was pushing people away. I was doing that, especially after my abusive relationship. But also, like, in high school, I didn't have any friends until I was like 17, because I was so like shy and into myself, in the sense that I was just so what's the right word? It's kind of like your depression is like a sickness, but you're kind of a little bit in love with being miserable. And I feel like that's the best way I can describe it. And I feel like people who have depression can understand what that feels like, because it's like sometimes you get to a point and it's just the misery is like comforting, I guess, even though it's like your brain's trying to kill you. You know what I mean? So so I was posting about how disgusted I am by people who just don't do anything to help themselves, especially since I've spent the last 3 years doing everything I can to help myself. Like, just everything. Like, not even just 3 years, past 5 years, to do stuff to help myself. I've worked so hard to be where I am in my life and to have the things that I have. And, I reached a point where it was either fall off the cliff and tumble into the rocks and just give up, kill myself, or keep fighting, or just take a step back from the edge. And I chose to take a step back, even though I do still think about hurting myself, and I don't like myself very much, and I don't really want to be here that much. But I'm not going to kill myself. I'm not going to do anything to myself, because I have people who care about me and people who love me. And when I think about doing those things, you know, my first thought is to my friends and my family. And I'm like, well, I can't do that now because now I have people who care about me, and now I have people who want me to not give up. So yeah, so I see people posting those self-pitying posts and just like, I have nothing, and like, you know, all that shit, right? And then someone on my timeline, they saw my posts and they didn't respond to me, which is fine because I've already made it clear that if you have a different opinion about something than me, don't fucking at me. I don't want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was very obvious that they were talking about me, and they were talking about how they have depression and how like people who don't have it can't possibly understand, and that like when they're posting on social media, it's not to try and get attention, it's just kind of like a venting place. So I DM'd this person and I was like, you know what, I hope that your post is just a happy, or not even happy, an unfortunate coincidence, you know. I hope it's an unfortunate coincidence because I have depression. I have really bad depression. I was in a mental hospital for trying to kill myself when I was 12. I went twice. The only reason I didn't go that third time is because if they told me if I tried doing that again, they would keep me there until I was 18. And I was like, nah, I'm good on that, fam. Because honestly, those fucking hospitals, no matter what people say, it doesn't help. You know, there's some stuff that goes on there that, I don't know, I'm still kind of like, I don't know. But that shit doesn't help. It really doesn't help. It didn't help me. But it did spook me enough where I was like, I'm good on this. I won't be trying this anymore, or at least I won't be as obvious with it and stuff. Yeah. Anyway, but I DM'd them and I was telling them about everything I've gone through, and I'm like, yeah. So I hope this was just an unfortunate coincidence, because don't assume that I don't know what it feels like. And he was like, oh shit, oh I'm sorry, you know, I didn't realize. Like, I'm just so used to people making assumptions about how it feels. And I'm like, yeah, I understand that. I get it. You know, I get that. It's okay. It's fine. It's okay. I understand. But I just wanted him to understand that I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like. And I just choose to do better for myself. And I guess when you're in that depressive rut and you're stuck there, it's kind of hard to dig your way out, because it's kind of like quicksand sucking at your feet, trying to drag you down into misery and despair, and it's hard to fight back against that. But I've been trying very hard not to give up, and it bothers me when other people don't do that. And honestly, it's like social media just, no offense, but it does look bad. Like, if you're posting that stuff, people are going to take it as, oh, you're just looking for attention, like you don't actually feel this way, you know. And because his excuse was like, writing in a journal doesn't help. And like, writing things on the internet is kind of like writing in a journal, except people can't judge you for it. They can't look at you sideways, because social media is social, you know, it's in the name. And you putting that stuff out there is just opening the door for people to hurt you and go after you, because they have this personal information about you. Mm-hmm. Like, I've shared a lot of things on this show, and I've had people come at me and try to use shit against me and say things about me and just use the things I've talked about on this show to hurt me. And I'm like, okay, like, I realized that was like
a possibility.
That was something that could happen, you know, like, which is why there are certain things that I've gone through that I'm never gonna talk about it on this show. But, you know, it's like, okay, it's something that could happen. So I just try to be mindful. I only talk about the things where I'm like, okay, well, if someone tries to use this against me, at the end of the day, they're the ones who are gonna look like an asshole. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, there's just some things you shouldn't be posting, you know, just especially about your family. You know, that they don't know that you're putting that shit out there, and you're just letting strangers know, like, have a personal insight into what's going on in their life. You know, just don't do that shit. Just don't.
Yeah, I do think that there's some things that should be kept private, and I do. So the thing is, I do understand the whole, like, posting is therapeutic. I mean, we do this show and it's therapeutic for us, and we know we're putting this stuff out there. We know we're putting our business out there, but that doesn't give people the excuse to be assholes, you know? So there's that, right? Where I know that posting this, people that are assholes are going to read it and see it. So I'm signing up for, you know, that, I guess. But what I'm not signing up for is for people to attack me. So it's a double-edged sword, because on social media, it's like you can find people that feel the same way you do, which is helpful, which is great. If you speak to someone who's going through what you're going through, and maybe they're a little bit further along than you and they've already been through it, or maybe they're going through it, you guys can help each other, right? So I feel like that's great when it comes to social media, and I won't take that away. You open the door to more people who might understand you. But there are also, with the good comes the bad. There are so many trolls on social media, so many trolls, because of the anonymity. And I know that you can block people, and I know that, you shouldn't take things seriously, but sometimes it's easier said than done, where if you post something and people basically, like what that person thought, assume something about you, and then the first thing you do is just like want to like argue about it or something like that. It's counterproductive, right? Because when you posted with the idea of helping yourself. But then when you take things that people say and try and argue about it, what you're doing is not helping yourself. And I think that that's something that you have to think about when you post on there. If someone does try to come at you and say something that will hurt, you'll read it. So it'll hurt you if you care. But it doesn't mean that you have to put up with it. It doesn't mean that you have to argue with them. There's a block button for a reason. And I think you should use it. And I think that if you're really trying to post to help yourself, that you will use it. If you go back and forth with someone, what was the point of posting if it were not for the attention of that, right? Where if you are willing to fight with someone on social media, then I don't know if you, when it comes to what you posted, if you are trying to help yourself, then I don't know if that was your true intention. I do think that it's something some things do need to be private. Some things strangers don't need to know about you, and I'm not here to tell anyone what to do. Like, it's your life, you do what you want, but at the same time, people are going to assume things about you either way. People are always going to assume things, because that's what people do as humans. Our first instinct is to categorize people. And so with that comes a lot of negative, right? If you post something, people are going to think what? Either they're going to think, oh, I'm going through that too. Oh, shit, it sucks that you're going through that. Or, oh, damn, this person's looking for attention and posting this, right? Like, there's only so many things that people can think of when it comes to things like that. And when you post it, you kind of just sign on the dotted line, so to speak. Like, there's no, like, if I post this, no one should be responding to it. That's not really how it works. Why someone's responding as an asshole, that's definitely something that, can be questioned, right? Because you don't need to be a dick. You don't need to respond, but you are, right? Like, why are you here? That's something that I find myself saying a lot. But when you post it, you're posting it for people to read. There's no doubt about it, People are going to read this. Yeah. Whether it's one person, whether it's a million. So you have to be kind of aware of what you're doing. You have to be aware of what you're posting. And you have to just accept it. You have to accept that if I'm going to post this, there might be someone who's going to be an asshole, right? That's just how it is. Yeah, I agree though about bringing family. I do talk about my family on the show a little bit, but I'm not going to like put my family's business out there if it's not anything that they don't want to know. I mean, my family's aware of the fact that I talk about them on the show. And my family's aware of the things that I say, because I say exactly what I'm saying here to them. So there's that. But I'm not going to tell my sister's business, for example. I'm not going to, if I have an opinion about it, I try and keep things general. If I have an opinion about someone in particular, but I don't care enough to argue with them, I don't think that it's going to help you if you're going to argue with people about the way you feel, But depression's not a freaking game. It's not something that you should use against someone either. People, like, if you're listening to the show and you're only listening to get fuel, that's stupid. Get a life, because what the fuck are you doing?
Oh man, every time someone tells me to go kill it's so funny. People tell me to go kill myself and I'm just like, I just respond with, I'm trying.
Oh my god.
And they're like, well, never mind.
Oh my god. I don't know if it's necessarily that. Okay, so in chat people are, discussing what we were talking about. It's both sides, right? Both sides. Oh god. It's not that depression is like something that you should get over. That's not how that works. But at the same time, if you are depressed, and if you there are ways that there are patterns for humans, and there are ways that people act when they are really actually depressed, right? You can feel sad, you can feel melancholy, and that happens as humans. Like we get that, we get sad, we have emotions, but it's not good to assume that the person's depressed because of those, and it's not also good to what's it called? I just had a brain fart. Wow. It's not good to label yourself as depressed if you were not labeled that by a doctor. Diagnose, there we go. It's not good to self-diagnose. Mostly because you're not a doctor, right? I mean, doctors mess up too, but it's not something that also people online too, like people will read something and be like, oh dude, are you depressed? Like what? That's not how that, like, what? It might be a good idea to DM somebody if you actually care about that. But I do think that it's not something that you can just be like, yeah, get over it. Everyone's not gonna act the same way to something. Everyone has a different reaction. And you also can't be like, whoa, I can't help myself. Like, this is just how I am, right? Because pity doesn't get you anywhere.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Pity doesn't.
Well, it's just something I find disgusting.
Pity doesn't do anything, So yeah, I feel like it's hard. It's definitely something that is a struggle. You have to figure out how to sometimes pull yourself out of it, and if you can't pull yourself out of it, which some people can't, I hope that you have someone in your life that's there to help you. How can a doctor really know? Doctors study these things. They read books and they have degrees and they go and have experience with lots of different people who go through the same different things. So yeah, that's why doctors are there. Not saying that doctors are always right. Sometimes doctors are not right. That's why you have to get second opinion or third opinion. But yeah, it's one of those things, right? It's a little bit controversial. But thank you for discussing in chat. I really appreciate that. And yeah. It's a serious topic. It's not something to take lightly. But we are gonna move on. I do know that there's more to say on this, and I know that a lot of people have different opinions, but we definitely leave the floor open to comments below after the show if that's something you want to do. And we do read all of our comments, so we appreciate anyone that leaves them. So let's move on a little bit so that we can get to our next segment. Yeah. Oh, everyone's in the chat saying, oh, you guys are so sweet. Yes. We love Luca, and we do hope that Luca feels, better.
Oh yeah, shout out to y'all. I love you guys. Thank you for listening and appreciating, and just not being complete fucking assholes. Like, I got a couple of nice DMs just now. I appreciate you guys for reaching out to me and letting me know that what it feels like, and if I need someone to talk to. Like, sometimes sometimes just letting people know what you've gone through, it does work out. And it's like you were saying, you make connections with people. Like, I got a comment, a DM from a guy a couple of days ago where he was like, I've been there and I've worked hard to get where I am now, and it's still a struggle, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
Yeah, we all struggle with things. I I don't think that anyone's struggle is less serious than another, right? Because I feel that you can only know if you're in someone's shoes. It's just one of those things where you're not gonna know. You're not gonna be able to tell someone what you feel is stupid, right? Or I mean, you can say it, but you're gonna be a dick for saying it because you don't know how they're feeling. Someone's feelings in one particular situation might be different if you feel a different way about it, you know? My favorite podcast, don't tell. Oh, we won't tell. We promise. But yes, we appreciate you guys for being here and listening. And we appreciate you guys for telling us your stories because your stories are important too. Everyone's voice is important. I do think that everyone's definitely valid to how they feel. It's even if what they feel is kind of dumb to me. Anyway, we're gonna move on. Our next topic is fuck that shit. You guys know, here we give a little annoying thing that happened and we rant about it. I do hope that if you have anything to rant about, you can give us a little email. We do have our email address on the show here right up top there, if you see it, where you can send us a rant of yours and we will read it on the show. Or if you have a girl, let me tell you, or if you have a but why though, or anything like that, just send it to us in written form, or you can send it to us via voice memo if you have that on your phone. Just record yourself on your phone and just send it to us on the email. Super simple. And we'll play it on the show. We will play it live for you. So if you want to be on, you can be like a little co-host. Just send us a little voice recording and we'll play it for everyone to listen to. And it'll be on YouTube forever. Yes, but we definitely got one submission and it went really well. It was a long story, but it was great. I think that we can do that again. It'll be fun. And if you don't know, on the Discord, I have opened up a rant channel. So if you feel like you don't have a rant that you think should be on the show, but you have a rant in general, then join the Discord and you can just, rant in the channel. People use all caps and curse a lot and have a lot of different emotes. So super funny. One day I might read them out to you guys because they are hilarious. Especially one person, he's been using it for, I think, the last week or two. And almost every day he's had a story. So one day I'm going to read them to you because he said it's okay. But that's for another day. Today, my fuck that shit is. All right. I know I always talk about being on the bus. I know. I'm aware. All right. But I take the bus basically almost every day to work and from work. And it just baffles me the way that people are sometimes. I don't understand the things that people do. I really don't. I really don't. I don't understand why, if you're on a public bus, you do particular things knowing that people A, are around you and B, are watching you. That doesn't make any sense. So the other day on the bus, I'm just, all right, I get on the bus, mind my own business. I find a seat, so that's cool because I can just sit down and I don't have to worry about falling down or holding on and things like that. And I'm on my phone because, supporting, showing people some love, posting things on Twitter, telling people in Discord things, all that stuff. I'm all over the place. And I'm just minding my own business, looking out the window. It's a nice day. It's great. So someone sits in front of me and I'm like, oh, okay, no problem. So yeah, they sit in front of me. And not even a minute goes by where I'm just oh no. Because of course I smell them and it turns out that the person smells like straight up cigarettes. And I don't mean they just smoked a cigarette out front, freshly lit cigarette. They had a full day. They had a cigarette, whatever. No. I'm talking about it smells like they took old cigarettes and smashed them into their jacket and just rubbed it all over the inside of their coat and in their hair and just old cigarette butts just everywhere in their pockets, walking around with cigarette butts in their pocket just for weeks and months. What is this? do they never wash their jacket? Like, do they never wash their clothes? What the like, why? And then, of course, they have to sit in front of me. All these seats available, and they have to sit in front of me. And I'm just like, yo, not only do my allergies get triggered, because I have, like, asthma-like symptoms, unfortunately, with my allergies. And so when something affects me, it's hard for me to breathe. And so I'm just like, why? Why did you sit in front of me, dude? Old cigarette butt smelling ass, like fucking old cigarettes.
Hey, do you live on public transportation?
Listen, every single day is just something like I think he just had old cigarette butts in his shoes and shit, and then just I don't know. I know it's just like, oh my god, great, this is just great. So yeah, that was that. I mean, I don't have anything against people who smoke. It's fine. It just smells really bad. Like, can you wash your clothes, please? I don't know if he was smoking some bad cigarettes. I don't know if he had old cigarette butts in his pocket. I don't know what the fuck, if he just didn't wash his stuff or something's going on, because I don't think that that's possible for you to smoke a fresh cigarette and smell like that. Like, the way he smelled was just so
I mean, that was probably his like 16th cigarette for the day.
16. Oh my god, I'm just like, whatever. Anyway, what is your fuck that shit this week?
All right, so my fuck that shit. It's a video that's been circulating around Twitter for a couple of days, probably Facebook as well. Gonna do a trigger. Wow, gonna do a trigger warning for animal abuse, and yeah. So I'm warning you now. It's if you haven't seen it yet, it's some really messed up shit. If that stuff affects you for long periods of time, do not watch it. I know that the police are currently looking for this dude. All of his information's out there, so fuck that guy. But yeah. All right, so I'm gonna talk about it. Warning ahead. All right. So my fuck that shit. Okay. So, all right. Okay. It's rough. Like, it's really rough. Yep. Okay, so it's a video. It's this guy. He's holding like a kitten, and he throws the kitten like he would throw a football across the way and into a street. Now, I didn't listen to it at first with sound on. I just saw the video. I was like, oh fuck, man, that's messed up. But then I was showing it to a couple of my friends, and they were like, did you listen to it? I was like, no, I didn't. I'm like, okay, listen to it. And hearing the sound of the cat hitting the ground and then its scream of pain made me want to murder this guy. Like, I wanted to fucking kill him. Like I just, like, that kind of shit. Fucking scum of the earth. This is why, like, this is one of the big reasons why I just, like, I can't stand people, you know? Like, I have a general disdain for people in general. Like, I just have, like, low feelings towards other people because I've seen so much just violence and cruelty, just unnecessary cruelty, you know? Like, I remember I was watching Criminal Minds, and this quote popped up on the screen, and it was something that's stayed with me for years, where it's like, humans are the only animals who hurt each other, not for food, but just because. It was something along those lines, and I'm like, yeah, this is very true. So I showed it to a couple of my friends. I was mindful enough to not show it to certain people because I was like, you know what? I don't think that's a good idea that they see this. And, you know, I just talked about it, and I didn't go into any detail or anything with them, but it's just, like, you know, I got a call from one of my friends, and he was like, Luca, legit, like, if I had the fucking money right now, I would call someone to kill that guy. I'm like, dude, like, yeah, you know? And there's really no excuse for this. There's no excuse, you know? And we found out more information about this guy. He's posted other videos about him and his friends beating the shit out of someone, repeatedly kicking them in the head, just acts of violence and cruelty.
Pulling down their pants. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
and then like just messed up shit. And then like their information's out there, their name is out there.
Apparently they go to some high school.
He's fucking gang initiation shit, right? And the dude, like, people were sending him snaps. He's like, fuck you guys, like, you don't understand, like, you don't know.
He threw the N-bomb like 30,000 times.
He was just like, you don't know what that cat did to deserve this. I'm like, what? Yo, I would beat the shit out of this kid. Like, I would beat the shit out of him. I'm 4'11", but I would try it, like.
What's really frustrating, and I mean, it's cool that people were able to basically, when they see things like this, I feel good that I'm not the only one that felt angry when I saw it. You know what I mean? And I do think that there were a lot of people that were just outraged about it, and people went and they got his address and they got what school he went to or goes to. They didn't figure out if he went there or if he doesn't go anymore, but like they went and they took it into their own hands, because like the cops are just super slow to these things. Like, it's I mean, look, I know that they're busy. They're going through a lot. They have other things to worry about and things like that. So playing manhunt on some shit that they saw online is kind of like hard, but obviously this person is like borderline psychopath. Like, obviously this person, if they're willing to do that, borderline,
they're a fucking psychopath.
If they're willing to do that to an animal, they're willing to do it to a human being. Like, that's how that works. It's textbook, Yeah. So,
and the lack of remorse, he was just like, man, you don't know what that animal, you don't know what that fucking cat did. I'm like, what?
But can we also talk about the person that like posted it? Well, the person that recorded it is also trash. Like, what are you doing to not have stopped them or called the cops or something? Because what the fuck, that shit's not funny. And then the person that posted it, that was like, well, at least the page that I saw it on, the person said, whoever this guy is, let them know that I want their fade or some shit like that. And I'm like, yo, you joking right now? When you saw this video, you thought, yo, I'm just gonna post something mad like funny, watch, like, what is this? Yeah, no, that shit's not funny. That shit's not funny. I can't. I just can't. When I saw that video, I didn't even think. I was like, yo, is this real? Like, what the it's so disgusting. And there's people out there like this. There's people out there like this who we don't even know that do these things,
Yeah. I don't keep up with the slang of the younger crowd, the young generation. But run a fade, is that like, what does that mean? Because I'm looking it up on the Urban Dictionary right now.
I mean, in my experience, a fade is usually a haircut.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking up different like definitions of it. There's also a definition that says to get into a fight with someone, to beat someone up. So maybe that's what he meant by it.
Really? I want their fade is you want to fight them? That's the new thing now.
I mean, it's run a fade, but I don't.
He didn't write that. Like, yeah, he wrote out, let them know I want their fade.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to like say maybe it's okay. Well, people in the chat are saying it's a fight. Listen, guys, I grew up in the suburbs. I'm just saying. So yeah, I don't know.
I get run a fade, but like that guy is obviously an idiot because he didn't say it right. So. Anyway, I feel like people suck.
Are fucking scum. But like the police, they're looking into it. They got the kid's information. I'm reading conflicting reports. I'm assuming that the cat's dead. All right, because like,
well, people said
the sound that it made. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, man. In New York City, a fade means a haircut. Yes. You laugh. He said, okay, well, different places, different slangs. But he didn't say run a fade. Run a fade is different than I want. It doesn't matter. The point is that cat is not dead. It broke his leg only. I read that the cat was dead. Either way, that shit was fucked up. And I hope that person is brought to justice.
Oh yeah, with how social media is nowadays, that guy's life is over. There's like someone crazier than us is gonna fucking beat the shit out of that kid. So
it's just one of those things where those things escalate. You know, like next thing, first we said, police said no. So, oh really? The police and the owner said that the cat is not dead. All right, well, there's that. First it's a cat, and the next thing we know is a person. If I found out someone did
that shit to my fucking cat, I'd kill him. Like, legit. Like, oh yeah, my cat's not dead, but this person is. Like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm. And I just that's gonna be the next person that we see, like, on the news, like, oh, this person went on a murdering spree, you know, some shit like that. I really hope something happens, because we just can't let people like this they just can't they're gonna keep doing the same shit over and over. Like, we can't. What are the laws too when it comes to animal abuse? Like, do people get jail time for shit like that?
I honestly, I don't know. I feel like it should. I feel like how people, like, with how people, you know, not trying to be a bitch, but some people consider, you know, animal lives more important than human lives. So I feel like there should be, like, there's probably laws about it.
I mean, there's a huge organization, so there's that. And I know that
it's trash though, but yeah,
we'll see. If any of you are listening to this and get some kind of update, please let us know in the comments. Police claim they charged him with a felony of animal cruelty. Oh, so it's a felony. All right. Average 5 years in prison. You think so? I mean, I know in America it's different than the UK. They do in the UK. I'm just reading comments from chat, guys. I know we don't usually do that, but it's just information that we don't have. Yeah. I mean, as much as it hurts, I only watched the video once. Like, I just couldn't. And I was just trying to read the comments to see if there were any updates. And a lot of that stuff gets lost, you know?
Yeah. I was talking to my friend about it, and then he started, like, talking to his cat. Like, he was holding his cat. He's like, yeah, Luca, I gotta be honest. I'm gonna fucking kill that guy if I see him. I'm like, yeah, no, I understand, man. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, man.
Shit's just fucked up.
All right, well, let's move on that note. Fuck that guy, and fuck anybody else that, you know, decides that it's okay to prey on anything that's innocent. It's just not okay, people. But let's move on, and maybe we can end on a good note. This is But Why Though, where we give you interesting stories about things that happen to us, and we just ask why, because people are crazy. I have another bus story. This is from that time that I went to Maryland, and I was on the bus for 5 hours.
# blue on the bus.
Yeah. I don't know. I just had so many stories from there. But the lady that I was sitting next to, for some reason, decided to, like, sit on the chair that she was on. She got up on her feet and, like, squatted. And then she, like, hiked her dress up. And she was just like, like that, like, super loud.
Was she sitting like L, you know, from Death Note?
Yeah, exactly like that. And I was just like, I was just side-eyeing her, like, what the fuck is going on here? And then she hiked her dress up, like, really high, and I was just like, oh, okay. It turns out that later on she was complaining how she was hot, and I was just like, oh, nice. It wasn't even that hot on the fucking bus, and she was just like, like, super loud. And I'm just like, this lady is trying to get the fuck off her. Was she hot? Like, was she hot, like, warm, or was she hot, like, was she look good looking? I mean, oh, I nailed it. Yeah, she was hot, like, she was warm. I'm just like, this lady. I mean, it must have been all that Chinese food she had. Just saying. But that was weird. I felt very uncomfortable seeing all that leg. Oh, man. But yeah. No, I didn't see booty. No. She didn't lift it all the way, like, past her bottom. And I didn't see her underwear. It was just, like, really high. Like, it was really close. And I was like, she must feel really comfortable around me. Or she just is that hot that she just can't help herself. And she just needs to, like, breathe. And lifting her skirt up is going to help her breathe. And taking off her... She had no shoes on, guys. Just saying. So, yeah. Ugh. But yeah. But why, though? Why do people do things? I don't know. What's your but why, though?
All right, listen. It's another traumatizing story from my grandparents. Tales of the grandparents traumatizing me, all right?
Oh, God.
Listen. Can you hear me? You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Listen. All right, so I came home yesterday after getting my nails done, after doing a little shopping, and I'm going out the back door to start getting ready to do my laundry. And I walk past my my grandpa, and by yesterday, oh shit, was this yesterday? Oh, yeah, it was yesterday. Wait, was it yesterday? No, okay, it wasn't yesterday. It was Friday. So I walked past my grandpa, right? Because I'm trying to like leave and go do some errands, right? And he's like, oh, hi. I'm like, oh, hey. It's like I had a half day on Friday, so I had to go and get some things checked out. Had to go fix my bitch ass car that is broken beyond belief. I'm living that hashtag poor life right now. It's looking spooky in these streets, guys. But I walked past my grandpa, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, okay. Have
Wait, why are we whispering right now?
Okay, because my grandparents are in the next room. Okay. All right. So I walk down the stairs in the back, and he comes out, and I'm like, oh, okay. I turn around to be like, oh, are you gonna lock the door for me? And what do I see? Hanging out of his pants.
No. Yeah. No. ¿Por qué? Yeah. Please tell me. No. Please.
No, it was that. No, it was that. Yeah, it was that.
Yo, what the fuck is wrong with your grandparents?
Like, it's just dick hanging out, and I'm just like, bruh, I don't deserve this.
Yo, fix your fucking shit. What are you doing?
Because the thing of it is, I just, shit was looking spooky. And I've been traumatized ever since. I'm like, oh, another instance of being traumatized. Okay.
Yo, but like, do you not feel the air hitting your junk, boy? Like, what?
I guess not.
The fuck?
I was ready to end it all that day.
Yo.
And I haven't been able to talk to him since.
Oh my God, that reminds me of like one time I was on the train and some guy was sitting with his legs open and his balls, you could see his balls because he had a rip, like a hole in the middle of his jeans. Yo, dude. Why? Do you not feel the air? Do you not feel the air whipping by on your junk? Like, I don't understand what's happening. Please. Maybe he's too old. This has been the most
traumatic thing to happen to me in years, honestly.
But why, though? Oh, my God. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for your trauma.
I'm already ready to end it all, It's just... I don't know, man. Shit's spooky.
Oh man, you can't like. What do you even like? Did you?
I kept it.
You just have to like avert your eyes.
Yep, I left. I was like, I gotta go.
All right, see you later, Grandpa. Like this is not happening right now. Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. I'm sorry, but like, it can be really warm down there sometimes. Dude, like, I feel just like you can feel the air. Come on. Like, it's skin. What's happening here? Sometimes you have to let them air out. Ugh. No, that's her grandfather. Oh my God, Lord. Oh my God, I cannot. Yeah, I hope that never happens to me. Ever. Although I have walked in on my grandfather naked before, and that shit was so traumatizing that I forever knock on doors now. Forever. You saw your abuela give... Hold up. You saw your abuela give your grandparent oral. Wow. good for them for being active, but like that, no one wants to see shit like that. Like, no, thank you. Gross. All right, well, that's disgusting. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, you're welcome.
My poor ears. Oh my God, yeah, I'm sorry too. I'm sorry for your trauma.
Yeah.
What are you gonna, like, did you tell anybody else?
I told like,
Did you tell your mom? Do you tell your mom about these things?
no, I don't.
Maybe she can talk to them.
No, I'm good on that. It's just something that I'm never going to think about or bring up again to ever anyone.
Oh
I told like 2 other people, and now I told all you guys, so.
Nah, we're gonna forever try to, like, exit out of your mind. If that's even possible. Oh my Lord, I can't. Ugh. Yo, princess. Ugh, oh no, I'm sorry you had to witness that. Anybody that has to witness any of their family members naked or doing things, like, I'm sorry. Lord. Oh my God, I can't. Like, that's so, like, I just feel so.
I was ready to jump, yeah.
Like, my skin's crawling. I'm so sorry for you. All right. Let's
It's super village.
My stomach hurt. I need to lay down. I can't yeah. All right. Well, that sucks. Let's move on. After that bomb that she drops. All right. Well, this is the part where we, let you know where you can find us and where you can head over so that we can say hello to you. Luca, where can everyone find you?
All right, so you guys can find me on Twitter at TheAshenLuca. I'm working on starting up my channel. It's happening, guys. Just keep on the lookout. Yeah.
Nice.
People keep messaging me like, Luca, you said you were gonna start up your channel like 6 months ago. What's going on, fam? I'm like, it's happening.
I mean, creating takes time and effort.
Yeah. So I'm working on it.
You gotta be in a particular mindset.
Exactly. Plus, I need to I don't even know what I need exactly to get all that shit ready. So.
Well, we could talk about it. I could help you.
Okay. That sounds good. But but you guys can also find me on Dealer Gaming's channel for RDX Podcast. It's a weekly Xbox centric podcast, but we do other gaming news. We try to keep it honest and real up in there. We try to call each other out when one of us is saying something insane. So it's a fun show, and stop by if you're interested in hearing about some gaming news. And great show back. Super villain. I'm a body slam you if you hurry me up one more time. Just saying. But a great show back. The chat was popping. Thank you so much for stopping by, guys. Mm-hmm. I was kind of like, oh well, no one's gonna be in the chat because MNC, like Crappy and Mooch, were having technical issues with I think their OBS or whatever, and so they didn't start MNC until like 12:15. So I figured everyone would be over there, but we actually got a really good turnout. And I'm just over here like, wow, okay, I like this.
Yeah, we get your messages, guys. We know that you love us, and we know that you love the show, and we appreciate you guys for showing up. And it's just so heartwarming. Like, keep sending those messages, guys, because we love reading them, and it really motivates us. Because sometimes, look, we're gonna be completely honest with you. Sometimes it's really hard to. I mean, you heard, like, I was having trouble sleeping. Luca went to sleep super late and was tired. Like, but we still love doing this. At the end of the show, we always feel great. Like super.
I missed it.
Yeah, super happy to have been here. And we love hearing your stories. Everyone had so much to say today. It was great. How cool is Blue? Yeah, of course. I'll help Luca. The hell? Always. I just want to say.
Hey, yo, Chrissy, you gotta chill with that, man.
No, abuela. Yeah, no, I don't want to think about that anymore. Yeah, let's go watch some baby videos to be like, all right, no more grandparent junk in our heads. Well, you can find me streaming. I don't know if any of you are into watching people play video games. I know a lot of you prefer to play the video games. But we do a lot of silly things on my channel on Twitch if you guys want to come through. I am also on Twitter. If you find me there, it's all the same name, xBlueRendezvous. And you can find all these links and things down below. There's also a link for the Discord, as I told you guys earlier. We have a rants channel that's been popping, like it's been used almost every single day. People have a lot to rant about. And remember that you guys can be on the show if you send us an email with your voices, or if you write it out, we'll just read it for you. Another thing I want to say is that I have started a new little segment on my channel. It's called Blue Reflections, and I'm hoping that I can release, every now and again, something for everyone to listen to. It's gonna be just short little snippets, nothing serious, and I'm doing it from my phone.
Each time you do a Blues Reflections, I'm gonna do a reply post. It's gonna be called Luca's responses and Luca's replies. One of those. I've already set it up.
Sounds good. I'm literally doing them from my phone, so don't expect any like super high quality. I'm just doing it at work on my lunch break because that's the only time that I have any time, and so it'll be good. So far, so good. A lot of people have commented that they liked it, so I'm happy about that. And I hope we see you guys next show. So yeah, have a good one. Remember to get your shit together, and don't be a fool. All right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.